right, everybody. Well, that wraps up another amazing event, and it honestly could not have happened. We would not have reached 2,546,290 without your help.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Another GDQ event has come and gone. Summer Games Done Quick 2024. And if you're a part of my channel earlier this year in January, I covered some of my favorite runs from AGDQ 2024. And I want to do the same thing now. It took some time. I didn't get a chance to watch a lot of it live, but I did get to watch a lot of the VODs this week. And I took some time and really got some of the runs that I really enjoyed, and I'm going to talk about them today. So I hope you enjoyed GDQ. If you're into this event, they do a lot of great things for charity. This time, Doctors Without Borders, that's the Summer Games charity that they use. And I just kind of want to talk about some of my favorite runs. And if you watched GDQ at all during the last week, let me know what your favorite runs were down below. Okay, let's get started. All right, it wouldn't be my videos if I didn't start off with a Final Fantasy game. And there was only one this year at Summer Games Done Quick, and it wasn't even a traditional Final Fantasy game. It was Dirge of Cerberus, Final Fantasy VII Dirge of Cerberus, which is like a action shooter type game. Nothing like a traditional RPG in that aspect as far as combat goes, but in some aspects it's still an RPG. I've actually played this one. I've never actually beaten it. I have gone back and watched all the cutscenes over the years to kind of piece the story together. Not my favorite, certainly not one I go back to. I don't even really consider myself a fan of it. It just feels weird, but I always found it interesting how the speedrun goes, some of the tricks they use. Obviously, they break the game in ways that make it super entertaining. You know, when I would play it, I would just kind of run straight forward, do everything that was supposed to be done. But in this one, they're like hopping around, they're breaking the game, they're doing these jump patterns that like make them hover in the air. They're skipping through combat like it's nothing. They're just blowing enemies away. So I think it's super interesting and really worth checking out. Even if you're not a fan of Final Fantasy, this one's different enough where I feel like if you just like action games and shooting games, you may actually enjoy this one rather than just the traditional side-by-side combat that Final Fantasy games are mostly known for. Next up is Pizza Tower, one of the final games of the marathon, and a game that I thoroughly enjoy but am terrible at. I realize I'm old, and I'm not as much of a gamer as I thought I was when I played Pizza Tower. It's just so fast-paced and so hectic, I can't keep up with it. So to watch someone speedrun it like this person is, and just making it look so simple, just flying through every level, and making it look like there's nothing to be afraid of, and you're not getting stuck on walls, or missing jumps, or bumping into things like I do. And the reason you'll never probably see me play it on the channel is because it's a highly difficult game as far as movement goes, and this person just makes it look so easy. I love it though. It's just so fast paced. It's so hectic. I was excited about this game because I love like the old Wario Land games where you move pretty quick through stuff in some of those games, but this is just on a whole different level, and I just can't keep up. I will admit that I'm too old for Pizza Tower, or I'm just too inept to handle the chaos that is Pizza Tower, but I still love it. It's a very beautiful, colorful, funny-looking game, lots of humor. It's just a lot of fun, so go check this one out. All right, we got to talk about Peanut Butter, the dog, the speed-running dog. I love this dog so much. It's actually in attendance this year. They shut the doors so people couldn't walk in and out just to kind of keep this dog a little more controlled and more comfortable. But to watch this dog play this Ken Griffey Jr. baseball game and do very well at it, it's just so entertaining. I love this dog. It's literally just the guy feeding him treats and making sure that he taps the buttons at the right time. It's obviously only Nintendo games that I've seen this dog speedrun before because they are very simple. 2 buttons, especially, and I think in this one it's just kind of like you press 2 buttons. But it is so cute. The dog's cute as can be. I'm only saying this because my dog's not here to hear me say that. But I love these speedruns so much, and just big ups to Peanut Butter. Keep it up. I expect to see you at many more GDQs to come. There are a lot of Zelda games that are played at these GDQ events, and I think the one that sticks with me the most and has probably been around, has been around the longest is Ocarina of Time. Now, there was a great Link to the Past run, there was a great Twilight Princess run, all that stuff, but to see someone beat Ocarina of Time so quickly by just completely breaking the game, just, doing all this crazy stuff, menu selection and flipping and hitting certain points and doing all this stuff just to warp to the end of the game is just so entertaining to me. And Ocarina of Time was probably one of the first speedrun games I really got into, like watching people do it. I've even learned a few tricks myself, but it's just so interesting to see how this game has developed over the many years that it has been being speedrun. There's all these different categories. There's ways to beat the game as quickly as possible. This one is definitely one of those where like the whole time they're going like, well, he's doing this with the code and making sure that these pixels and this frame and this thing. I'm just like, huh? And then the next thing you know, he's at the final Ganon fight. It's just nuts, and I love it so much. I feel like it's one of those you can't miss. You have to watch it just to see it. Just like Ocarina of Time, Mario 64 is it's just a speedrunning staple. It's just a classic. There's so much to it. There's so many different categories. There's so many different ways to beat the game. There's 16 stars, 0 star, the full 120, 80, whatever. But to see what happened in this run, where someone blindfolded themselves and did a randomizer, which means the stars are all over the place, they don't know where they are. So he actually spent time before the blindfold run started, just looking at where everything was so he could kind of figure out. Because if it was randomized and he just went in blind, he wouldn't be able to find anything. So he did have a little bit of prep time. But to see him blindfold doing some of these levels, like the air ride level, like I just avoided that as a child. I didn't want to deal with it because it was just too hectic. It was too scary for me to be over just open nothingness. And to see someone do it blindfolded while everything's in completely different places is just nuts. And he also goes on to do just a randomized, get as many stars as he can, but he's actually looking at the screen, which is also very interesting. But the fact that someone can do something like this blindfolded is just insane to me. And I actually looked before I started recording this video. He's on Twitch right now, like doing the same kind of thing, which I think is just nutty. So go check it out and then follow him on Twitch. So those are 5 of the runs that I really enjoyed at GDQ. Now, there are many, many more. It goes on for a week straight, so there are plenty of runs to see. There's things like Hollow Knight and Celeste and Elden Ring and all this stuff that you can watch. There's so many good runs, so just go check some out if you're into speedrunning and you weren't already watching the event. I promise they're worth your time. Maybe even go watch the almost 3-hour Super Mario RPG remastered speedrun. That's really cool to watch. Just really great stuff. And if you watched any of these and you have some of your favorites, let me know down below, because maybe I just haven't taken the time to check them out because it's like a game I haven't heard of or think I wouldn't care about. But maybe I will. Just let me know down in the comments what you thought. And thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Back in front of the green screen once again. Maybe we'll get back into doing this more normally. Let me know by liking and subscribing if you want, okay? Thanks for watching. I love you. I'll see you in the next video. Subscribe. Bye-bye.